They say the US is the world's top power, but what if that power rests on 10 crucial nations not stepping away? Why are these countries so important to America's stability? And what could happen if they suddenly said, "We're out"? One country makes vital smartphone components. Another could shake the dollar's value overnight. Some host American troops, while others fuel their energy needs. From managing global debt to influencing nuclear strategies, these nations hold more power than you might think. Think America's position is unshakable? Think again. These aren't just allies, they're lifelines. Losing them could have massive consequences. Let's explore the 10 countries the US cannot afford to lose. Number 10, China. Have you ever thought about where your phone, laptop, or child's toys are made? Imagine if those shipments stopped overnight. China contributes nearly 30% of the world's manufacturing output, more than the US, Japan, and Germany combined. From smartphones to solar panels, American life heavily depends on Chinese goods. But there's more. China holds over $800 billion in US debt. That's not just paper, it's leverage. If China reduces exports or plays tough in trade, US store shelves could empty, industries could stall, and economic ripples would hit every home. The threat isn't just about losing supplies, it's about losing control. Number 9, Russia. Are gas prices high? Imagine them tripling overnight due to a decision made in Moscow. Russia is the world's second-largest oil exporter and a key supplier of natural gas, wheat, and rare metals. With the biggest nuclear arsenal on the planet and deep geopolitical influence, Russia's moves can destabilize markets instantly. From military strength to regional dominance, their decisions can impact everything from space tech to cybersecurity. If they realign fully with rival powers or cut ties in key sectors, US influence and preparedness could take a major hit. Number 8, Saudi Arabia. What happens when a royal decree in a desert kingdom changes gas prices around the world? Saudi Arabia, home to nearly 17% of the world's proven oil reserves, plays a massive role in global energy. A single production cut can cause oil prices to soar. For decades, the US and Saudi Arabia have maintained a fragile balance, energy for protection. But recent shifts in alliances and the move toward trading oil in other currencies threaten to undermine the US dollar. If they end military cooperation or withhold intelligence, the ripple effect would hit both American wallets and national security. Number 7, India. With 1.44 billion people, India is more than just the most populous country, it's an emerging superpower. Strategically located and rapidly growing, India is home to the largest IT outsourcing industry in the world. US companies depend on Indian tech talent, infrastructure, and innovation. What if that link breaks? Cybersecurity, app development, and even basic tech services could grind to a halt. India also plays a vital role in balancing power in Asia. If its alliance with the US weakens or shifts toward neutrality, America could lose a key partner in trade, defense, and technology. Number 6, Germany. Germany doesn't need oceans or nukes to wield power. As Europe's largest economy and a top exporter, it plays a massive role in global supply chains. From auto parts to high-end machinery, German technology powers American industries. Germany is also central to the European Union, which does over $1 trillion in trade with the US annually. But there's more. Germany hosts Ramstein Air Base, a critical US military hub. If Berlin drifts from US alignment or pivots to greener, more sovereign policies without American partnership, it could leave the US behind in the next global industrial wave. Number 5, Japan. Japan may be smaller than California, but it's a giant in innovation. It's home to over 100 of the world's top global companies and produces over 30% of semiconductor materials, the building blocks of modern tech. Japan also hosts over 50,000 US troops, acting as a buffer in the increasingly tense Indo-Pacific. If this long-standing ally shifts to a more independent course, it could leave the US exposed in Asia and vulnerable in the global race for AI, clean energy, and next-gen manufacturing. Without Japan, the future could start slipping from America's grasp. Number 4, South Korea. Imagine your phone suddenly going dumb and your lightning-fast internet disappearing overnight, all because one small but mighty tech-savvy nation decided to disconnect. That nation? South Korea. You may not realize it, but your everyday tech life, from your phone's display to your car's onboard system, is deeply rooted in South Korean innovation. Two companies, Samsung and SK Hynix, control over 60% of the global memory chip supply. Without them, the tech world would face an instant meltdown. But South Korea's importance isn't just digital. Strategically located near North Korea, it's one of America's most critical military allies, with nearly 28,000 U.S. troops stationed there. Lose that alliance, and the U.S. forfeits a crucial staging ground in one of the world's tensest regions. Beyond chips and defense, South Korea has become a global culture driver. From music and movies to digital content and fashion, its soft power is reshaping global tastes and winning hearts in ways traditional diplomacy can't. South Korea is also charging ahead with major investments in artificial intelligence, space exploration, and renewable energy. If US-Korea ties ever sour, other global players won't hesitate to jump in and fill the gap, leaving America on the outside looking in. So, next time you tap your phone screen, binge a K-drama, or enjoy your tech-loaded car, remember, much of it traces back to a nation that could one day choose a different path. And if it does, the impact would be immediate. Number 3, Brazil. Now think about this. What happens if the world's largest rainforest country decides to stop cooperating? That country is Brazil. Spanning nearly half of South America, Brazil plays a crucial role in global climate stability. The Amazon rainforest, mostly inside Brazil's borders, produces roughly 20% of the planet's oxygen and traps vast amounts of carbon. Without Brazilian partnership, global climate goals could collapse, and the fallout would touch everyone. But Brazil is more than just trees. It's a powerhouse exporter of soybeans, coffee, beef, iron ore, and oil. If trade with Brazil slows down or stops, U.S. industries could see prices soar and supply chains crash. Brazil is also a major voice on the world stage. As a leader in the BRICS alliance, it's helping shift economic influence toward non-Western powers. If Brazil leans away from U.S. interests, it could tip the global balance in unpredictable ways. And there's more, Brazil holds untapped reserves of rare earth minerals essential to green tech. If it directs those resources elsewhere, America's clean energy goals could be in serious trouble. Don't forget Brazil's sway in Latin America. Its political and military influence means its direction affects the whole region. But Brazil values independence above all. If the U.S. wants to keep this key player close, it must remain smart and respectful, because if Brazil distances itself, the effects will be felt everywhere, from grocery store shelves to global negotiations. Number 2, United Kingdom. What happens when your most dependable ally, the one that stood by you through global wars, starts rewriting the rulebook? That ally is the United Kingdom. Behind its refined image lies a powerful partnership with the U.S. Unlike any other, this relationship includes deep intelligence sharing through the exclusive Five Eyes alliance. It provides real-time data on threats, attacks, and military moves. Losing that access would leave the U.S. flying blind in critical areas. Financially, London is still a major global finance hub. A shift in UK policies could rock markets worldwide and even rattle Wall Street. And militarily, the UK hosts key joint defense operations and has nuclear capabilities that support US strategic goals around the globe. Diplomatically, Britain carries weight in NATO and the United Nations, often serving as a glue that holds coalitions together. If the UK distances itself from Washington, it wouldn't just damage optics, it could break apart unity on global decisions. Since Brexit, the UK has been reshaping its international identity, signing new deals and exploring fresh alliances. If the US doesn't adapt to this shift, it risks being sidelined by its most experienced partner. No alliance is permanent without effort. If the UK ever drifts away, the loss won't just be symbolic, it would be foundational. Number 1, Turkey. Finally, consider a country that doesn't make headlines every day but holds the power to disrupt American strategy in multiple regions, Turkey. Straddling Europe and the Middle East, Turkey controls the Bosphorus Strait, a maritime gateway that's essential for NATO's movement between major seas. Losing access would disrupt military logistics immediately. Turkey also hosts Incirlik Air Base, a vital outpost for U.S. operations in the Middle East. Without it, America's ability to respond quickly in high-tension zones would shrink dramatically. Despite being a NATO member, Turkey often charts its own course. It's bought defense systems from Russia, struck deals with Iran, and taken independent stances on global conflicts. If Turkey moves further away from Western alignment, it could weaken NATO from within. On the tech front, Turkey is growing into a defense and drone manufacturing power, gaining traction among U.S. allies. If it pivots, American influence would drop, and its rivals would gain ground. Economically, Turkey links Europe to Asia and is becoming a bigger player in energy and trade. A political or economic shift there could unravel supply chains overnight. These aren't just possibilities, they're already in motion. If Turkey were to walk away, the consequences would be felt immediately, in military strategy, international diplomacy, and economic stability.